Hey yo, welcome back to MBK Reacts, bringing you another installment for the What If series for ReZero. Shout out to Edna, the Lust series. The Lust What If.
What you know about lust, Mo?
What you know about lust?
I know a little about bumping and grinding. You know?
Wow, I did not ask for any of that information. I just asked what you know about lust. I'm not gonna ask this guy. So someone said in the comments that the lust story is kind of like a joke and all that, not really serious. So we're just gonna watch it. Hopefully there's no spoilers, but we can't watch Gluttony because someone said there's way too many spoilers for the upcoming arcs.
I want to watch it.
You want to watch it?
I want to watch it.
I don't know what's his problem.
I
So we can't watch that one, and then there was something else someone wants to react to. Oh, it was ReZero Subaru versus the main character in the other anime. I forgot the Jobless Reincarnation one. These guys, I mean, you haven't finished the first season, right?
I'm on so 7.
And then you haven't even watched it. Don't look at me like that. So we might not watch that one because they're still watching it. Blah 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 blah. So we might not watch that one, but we're going to watch Lust right now.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail. We can already tell what's going to happen. It seems like it's going to be. So we're just going to have to find out this Lust series. So you know what to do. If you like, want to make sure you like, subscribe, comment to the bell on for our ReZero playlist so you get notified when we upload a new What If story next. So starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Definitely gonna need a graphic novel for the lust story. Look at I need to see I need a manga.
Every year on April 1st, the author of ReZero writes a spin-off story explaining what would have happened if
Subaru
Subaru
look at Gluttony. If you would have watched that, it would have been the end.
If you happened to watch my last video, you got to see Subaru as the Purge King. Well, now he's the Harem King. Welcome to the Butterfly Dream, aka the Harem If. This chapter is confirmed to be the Lust If story, but it was actually written before the author had figured out what he wanted the If stories to be. So Lust doesn't exactly belong with the other If stories. Pride, sloth, wrath, greed, and gluttony all show us what would have happened if Subaru had made the wrong decision at a specific point in the story. All of which, by the way, are beautifully written works of art laced with world building, character development, lore, and information that has allowed us to appreciate ReZero at a higher degree than
Season 3 of ReZero, that could be like literally 2 years.
Lust does not fit that description at all. Again, it was written before the author had established what he wanted the If stories to be, so in comparison to the others, it's just not good. In fact, Lust is the only If story that has ever been deleted by the author. The entire thing was
actually written
in one sitting,
that's the
so
goal.
I probably spent more time reading it than the author spent writing it. But that's because the story wasn't supposed to be good. See, Lust was actually the author playing an April Fool's prank on the readers. The idea was to upload a ridiculous harem chapter and then delete it a day later, making the readers question their sanity. He wanted the readers to wonder whether the story really existed or if they had just dreamt the whole thing, hence the title Butterfly Dream.
It was all a dream!
At the time of writing it, he didn't intend for it to be anything more than a funny prank, but years later confirmed that it was technically the Lust If. In my opinion, though, it should not be classified as an If story because it's just way too different than the others. It's also the only If story that hasn't been fully translated, so if I happen to make a mistake in this video, feel free to point it out in the comments. Anyway, we aren't sure where exactly the story diverges from the main plot. I'm guessing it was somewhere in Arc 3, but it doesn't really matter anyway because the whole thing's a joke. Now, earlier when I said Subaru was the Harem King, I meant it literally. In this story, Subaru starts out as the King of Lagunaga after marrying all 5 royal selection candidates.
Wow.
King Subaru now lives in the royal castle with his harem that consists of all 5 candidates as well as Rem and Petra. The story begins with Subaru being woken up by Petra's voice. Breakfast is almost ready, so Petra wanted Subaru to hurry and wake up so they wouldn't be late. But Petra's voice was awfully close, like right next to his ear. Subaru rolls over and sees Petra in the bed, curled up next to him.
Put you in a seat right over there, please.
Yes, Subaru just woke up next to a 12-year-old. Instead of immediately hiring a lawyer, Subaru grabs Petra and squeezes her body against his own in the bed because it was a cold morning and Petra's body heat was nice and warm, pressing up against Subaru. They exchange a bit of flirty dialogue, but eventually get out of bed and agree to walk to the dining room together. They're already late for breakfast, so Petra and Subaru, hand in hand, hurry down the red carpeted hallway of the royal castle.
Petra is a law.
Arriving at the dining room,
that's a little girl.
Subaru is greeted by
That's a little girl.
Bully is
You're
a
late, she
like
says.
No, it's
Subaru gets
a
nervous
attraction
and
to
tries
little
to come
age
up
girls.
with
What are you trying to like? What are you doing?
What
What are you trying to say?
Right through his lies with her divine protection of wind reading.
Oh, no,
She then
no,
accuses
I'm
him
not
of
trying to defend
flirting
all
with
this either.
Petra,
I'm
to
just
which
saying.
Subaru can't exactly deny. He feels bad, so he gives Krush a big hug and tells her that he didn't mean to offend her. But as the two of them are hugging each other, they suddenly realize their faces have drawn very close together.
Bro.
Now, usually when
Hey,
this type of
this ain't
situation
man.
occurs
Isn't
in
that,
most harems, the characters will get all
yeah.
embarrassed and
That's a
jump
good one
away
too.
from each other.
That's a good one too.
Well, in this story,
No,
Krush and Subaru start
Kami don't
making out.
communicate better.
I'm talking tongue action and everything just right there in the middle of the dining room. Anyway, Krush is suddenly depicted as delicate and feminine. As she's kissing Subaru, her eyes start to water and her ears turn red. But as soon as the kiss is over, Krush immediately switches back to her normal, more masculine personality. All that kissing must have worked up quite an appetite, because right after they're done, they just sit down next to each other and
Bro,
start
I
eating
was
breakfast
already-
like
I was
nothing
already
happened. Subaru takes a
Immediately
bite
off
and then
as
the
soon
scene
as I heard the
changes.
Petra thing. Jesus. Petra.
Later that day, Subaru's in his office with a large stack of documents piled up on his desk. He's incredibly stressed about all the work he has to do as the king of Lagunica, but luckily Rom is there in the room with him. Subaru begs her to help him with the documents, and after a bit of resistance, she reluctantly agrees. Unlike Subaru, Rom's clerical work is surprisingly fast and efficient. Subaru notes that it's probable that Rom had also been doing office work behind the scenes at the Roswell mansion. He briefly watches Rom's profile facing the documents and observes her tense, emotionless expression. A smile from Rom is extremely rare, but when it does emerge, it reminds Subaru of a beautiful flower that only blooms about once a year. Subaru then tells Rom that when she isn't talking, she's actually very
I would
cute.
kill them.
Of course.
Rom replies with her usual string of insults, followed by a surprisingly polite request for Subaru to please not compare her with her sister. It was out of character for Rom to speak this way with Subaru, and something about it was oddly pleasant. They then return to the documents and continue working
kind of
together in
language?
silence.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, the door bursts open and Priscilla barges in, announcing
The
that it's
best
her
one.
turn to spend time with Subaru. Subaru completely
Priscilla,
ignores her and
Priscilla.
continues working on his
Yeah,
documents,
kiss
but
my
Priscilla
feet, that
kicks
one.
over the table in anger.
Oh, yeah.
Subaru rushes to catch the fallen items and tries to pick everything up off the floor, and after confirming that nothing's been broken, he sighs and explains to Priscilla that he's been really busy with all these documents. It's then revealed that Subaru's been bringing new technologies to ReZero. For example, he used a small fire crystal to create a portable furnace, or as we call it, a lighter. That way people can cook stuff even if they can't use fire magic. By the way, in Obereru, Subaru made most of his money by doing this same kind of thing, so maybe this helped him convince all the candidates to marry him. I don't know,
Oh,
but
that's
this
cool.
whole
Why don't you
concept
just
of
do that
bringing
now?
new inventions to the
He did.
ReZero world seems to
At
be
the
pretty
cell
common for
phone. Yeah.
Subaru across all the
He did it
timelines.
with cell
Anyway,
phone.
he tries to show Priscilla the lighter,
talking
but
about,
it
like, make
malfunctions
money
and the
off of
fire crystal starts
He's too busy
overheating. In
worrying
a
about
few
money.
seconds, it'll explode in Subaru's face, causing possibly fatal injuries. But Priscilla quickly pulls her fan out of her cleavage and slices the lighter in half, saving Subaru's face from being horribly burnt. Subaru thanks her for protecting him and decides that maybe he can take a short break from his work and spend some time with Priscilla. This made Priscilla pretty happy, so she walks up, sits on Subaru's lap, and then wraps her arms around him,
What?
pulling him close. Even though he's been touched by Priscilla many times before, he still isn't
I
used
bet.
to it. The sensation of her fingertips on his neck made his lips moisten, and then Priscilla leans in and starts kissing Subaru. That lucky bastard.
Alright.
Anastasia.
Tough.
No.
Anastasia's on the couch
dude,
across from
no.
Subaru, watching him work on the
Oh
big
my
pile of
Lord.
documents. It seems that the Hoshin Trading Company was able to
I can see
successfully
why he
expand
deleted
their
this
markets
story,
into
bro.
Lagunica
How
now
old
that
is Phil?
Subaru was king. The two of them
I'm
exchange
sure he's about the
dialogue
same
for a
age
bit,
as
and
Phil.
after the conversation's over, Anastasia
Phil.
gets up and
Uh-huh.
sits down right next to Subaru. They start cuddling together like lovers do, and Subaru
Phil's like a
strokes
teenager.
Anastasia's hair.
Yeah.
It was long and soft and
Isn't
felt
Subaru
like the
like
hair of a little
17
baby
years?
animal. While Subaru's essentially petting Anastasia, she nuzzles her nose into his chest like some kind of cat or something. After some
the
time
Petra one's
passes, Subaru
still
eventually
weird.
returns
No,
to his room
But I
where
was
he
seeing
finds
the
Felt
other
lying
girls
in his
besides
bed.
Phil too.
Oh,
Once
Phil.
again, let's think about this from a legal perspective. If you get home and there's a 14-year-old in your bed waiting for you, the FBI is probably in the other room. But again, Subaru doesn't seem to be too worried about going to prison. He looks down at
12,
Felt and slowly approaches her while he takes off his jacket, removes his tie, and unbuttons his shirt.
Wait.
Hey, stop talking, Mo, before you
lays
get
down next to her, the two of them facing each other. He tells her that because of the way she's positioned on the bed, he could see everything under her skirt when he walked in. Felt doesn't really seem to mind, but she punches Subaru anyway. However, Subaru catches her punch and pulls her arm towards him, embracing her with a hug. Felt starts blushing and explains that she's intimidated by Subaru's other wives. She thinks she can probably beat Anastasia, but doesn't think she can beat Amelia or Rem, and her chest isn't nearly big enough to compete with Krush and Priscilla. But despite all that, she's still determined to try her very best. Subaru thought that was adorable, so he hugs her even harder, and then a heavy rain of kissing pours down into the room. Later that evening, Rem asks what happened to Subaru's left eye. He explains that Felt punched him after he got a little carried away. Rem tells him to be careful next time, but Subaru tells Rem that she's actually the one who needs to be careful. As he says this, he touches Rem's stomach, which is noticeably larger than it used to be. Yes, Rem is pregnant with Subaru's child. So not only is Subaru a pimp in this story, but he is also a daddy as well. Nowadays, Rem spends most of her time preparing for the baby, knitting clothes and things like that.
That's a half
He asks Subaru if he would prefer the baby to be a boy or a girl. Subaru thinks about it for a bit and then tells Rem if it's a girl, he will treasure her and love her and spoil her so much that she'll want to marry her own father. And if it's a boy, then he'll pass down his own father's tradition and become his biggest obstacle, his greatest rival, and his partner in crime. Rem blushes as she listens to Subaru's little monologue and gives him a happy smile. Her smile was so cute that Subaru couldn't help it anymore. He calls Rem's name and she immediately knew what he wanted. Rem closes her eyes and Subaru kisses her, her tongue stretching out somewhat. They hug each other tight the entire time, entangling their love with one another.
Oh my lord.
Listen to the music. We still got Amelia.
I was gonna say, where's Amelia?
Subaru was supposed to finish his load of office work before he went to bed, but as we saw, he got a bit sidetracked by all his toes. He finally got some free time to finish up his work, but instead he decides to go visit his main bitch. Opening the door, he walks into Amelia's room and sees her sitting on the edge of the open window with her hair swaying in the breeze. Amelia was a bit surprised that Subaru was visiting her at nighttime, but she happily welcomes him with a smile. Amelia's kind words make Subaru shed a tear. Her presence felt like it healed away all the stress he had accumulated as the king of Lagunica. Turning away to hide his face out of embarrassment, Subaru tries to leave the room, but Amelia stops him and pulls his head into her chest. She touches his back with a slow rhythm as if she was comforting a child. Subaru was exhausted from his busy day, so after a while he tells Amelia it's time for him to go to bed, but Amelia offers to let him sleep in her room. Subaru agrees and embraces Amelia with a hug, and the two of them fall into her bed together. Subaru says goodnight and then tries to fall asleep, but he's interrupted by Amelia saying Daisuki. Yes, Amelia tells Subaru she loves him. The two of them start kissing and the chapter ends. Now the next day the entire story was deleted and replaced by a short bit of text. The text explains the parable of the butterfly dream, but it's written from the perspective of Ekidona. Now Ekidona is a season 2 character, but I'm not going to give any spoilers in this video, so there's no need to click away or anything like that.
Holy shit.
One day, a man dreamt he was a butterfly, but when he woke up, the man wasn't sure whether it was a dream or if he really was a butterfly, who was now dreaming that he's a man. Isn't it fascinating? Those who have dreams are forced to either accept them or let go. Perhaps a dream held such weight that the dreamer themselves lost sight of reality. Would they then consider reality a dream? And what of someone who has many dreams, each with their own characteristics? Which of those dreams is reality to them? I wish I could be there.
Hey, hold on, that was kind of deep. That was kind of...
Why did he end it off with something deep? Like he just wanted to
that
fuck
crazy.
Hey, y'all need to watch this. This is peak comedy and peak fiction right there.
This is what the author intended this story to be. Remember, all of this was a prank. The Lust If wasn't supposed to be in the same category as the other If stories, so it wouldn't be fair to compare it with them. Anyway, we didn't
I felt like he tested the same thing as people were fucking. And then when they did it, like, no.
Everyone was so out of character that it just felt way too stupid sometimes, and I couldn't help but laugh at a couple moments. I think my favorite part of the story was actually Subaru's relationship with Rem. Out of all the interactions, the part with Rem felt the most realistic to me.
No, I didn't like. I meant the story altogether.
It's kind of a letdown when you give it the name Lust If.
Yeah,
Again, the
Petra's
story
also
was
crazy.
written before Pride, Wrath,
Wait,
Love,
what?
and Greed.
He
So
said
the
that was
author
a
hadn't
tool.
figured out what he
He said,
wanted
don't
his
tell
stories
him
to
about
be
Petra
yet,
also
and that's why I
crazy.
think that Lust If should be rewritten as a proper If story to fit the standards set by the other stories. But yeah, what did
Not
you
my
guys
problem.
think about the
No,
Lust
yeah,
If?
no,
Did
I
this
ain't
seem
gonna
realistic at all? I mean, with
What?
Infinite Lives,
I ain't
did
gonna
Subaru
see it.
actually maintain a harem with all of those girls?
That makes
Personally,
sense.
to me, the other If
You got
stories
limited
are
lives, so you
villain
can keep on
felt
testing
more
how to
realistic than
get
this
them to
one,
fall in
because I
love
just
with them.
can't
Bro.
realistically imagine all the competing candidates agreeing to share Subaru. I mean, Priscilla at least would totally start killing people, right? And by the way, where the hell was Beatrice? I would have preferred to see Beatrice instead of Petra.
Nah, she the oldest at all.
Hopefully
No,
this video
no,
helped
no.
clear up
She's an
this
actual
misconception.
liar.
Because
That's a
as
liar.
a fan
That is an
favorite,
actual
don't get me
liar.
wrong, it definitely was bad, but that's just not why it was deleted. When the story was first released, the feedback it got was actually overwhelmingly positive. The
Yeah,
Japanese
I'm not
reviewers
surprised.
liked it a lot, and I think the author
was
did as
positive?
well. I did enjoy the
Yeah, they
story.
wanna see
I
their
just don't
favorite
think it should be
ships.
classified as the Lust If, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more If stories, let me know. I think I might do the sloth route.
Oh, you about to do sloth. Hey, so right off the bat, Mo, when you said Subaru and felt is more understandable than Petra, I see what you're trying to say, but don't ever say that again on camera, because that was straight up disgusting of you to say. I'm pretty sure Subaru's either 17 or 19. He's one of those.
Okay, if he's 19, okay. But it said that Felt was like 15 to like.
In Arc 5, I think.
Oh, an arc. Okay, then it's not okay.
And I think we're on Arc.
He said it's Arc 3.
Arc 3 right now?
No, he said this took place in Arc 3.
So she was 14.
Oh, okay.
And then Petra's 12.
So that means he would be 18 when she was 15.
Subaru's 17.
17 right now?
He's 17 when he got transported.
And then it's been...
It's only been like a month or so, like a couple months.
So yeah, he's still 17.
But
Okay,
you're still
then
disgusting.
Yeah,
So-
It's 12-year-old.
So Subaru...
It's a 6th grader right there.
I'm not gonna say nothing because it wasn't said in the story. He was just sleeping with her. Maybe she had a nightmare.
I won't imply anything that wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna imply.
said, but I'm
not
not
gonna
sleeping
imply
in the
nothing.
bed with a 12-year-old. I'm not gonna wake up next to a 12-year-old.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know, and then he like started hugging.
Yeah, I'm not.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that implied. What that implied. But I ain't going for that. You feel me?
Out of all the girls in this one, Priscilla's the best.
I like the story with
Okay.
Ram. I like Ram the best.
I like
Obviously, she's
Priscilla.
pregnant.
No, I like
They're
Krish.
having a little baby.
You like Cruz?
Crush.
She has. I don't like her. She's not real with her own body, with her own self. She got a fake image in front of people.
She's great to me.
Hey, who are you? Who are you in the story right now? What do you mean she's great? to you? And why did you ask? Oh, never mind. Bro, when you said Fel, why was I thinking he meant Felix? I was like, why are you asking the word Felix?
Bro,
When you said Fel.
imagine if Felix wasn't.
Why wouldn't he be?
Why would Reinhardt be in here? That's the real question. But so back to the.
Because Subaru has no lust towards Reinhardt.
Why wouldn't
I know he has
But,
lust towards
why
Felix.
wouldn't he though?
Huh?
Why wouldn't he though? Why would you have no lust towards Reinhardt and that nigga the
Why would
strongest?
you have lust towards Felix?
I'm saying Reinhardt the strongest.
Why would you? Nah.
But I'm saying Reinhardt is the strongest nigga.
Nah,
in the kingdom.
if we're
Why would
being-
you not want to be with
If we're
that
being
nigga?
realistic, he has jealousy towards Reinhardt then.
Oh.
That's why he killed them in both of those stories. Well, actually, he couldn't kill him. He just weakened him.
But this is lust though, so it can be different. You feel me? He could have actually hated.
The love,
you gotta
like,
think
the
about.
love of the jealousy of Reinhardt.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be jealous of the nigga. That means you really gotta like him at the heart.
If
To hate on that
I'm
nigga, you
jealous
really
of
gotta
Michael
like him.
Jordan, I'm not. I don't love
If you
him.
jealous of Michael Jordan, it's because he do something better than you.
But that doesn't mean I love him.
Because you used to be a hooper and you used to love hoop, and he loved it. What more do you?
I never loved hoop in my life, and you have no hoop in my life.
I got
I thought
you points for training though. So. Wake up. Anyway, you already know. Should have brought Felix in there. Should have brought Reinhardt in there.
Should have bought what's her name?
Who?
The best girl in the series.
Lisa?
Yeah, Elsa,
Elsa.
bro.
Elsa.
No, I don't know what you said. Lisa Ann, like, what the hell you talking about? Should have bought Elsa, though. She's the best character in this show.
Nah,
And
Elsa
what
was-
does that say right there? Arc 6? Death of this. Oh! I don't know what's going on in this show, but I'm kind of, what's that? How to read ahead? All right. I started, what?
That's what he need. How to read ahead and read zero. That's what he's doing.
Just read the light novel.
Nigga, fuck that light novel. No fun.
That's how you get ahead.
Nah.
Okay.
So, you ain't gonna find a light novel online. I mean,
Why would you?
I don't know why you said that, but that's getting cut out anyway.
Sumo.
Hey, so you know what to do if you like that. Well, if you guys have any other ReZero videos, if you guys have any other ReZero videos that you guys want us to react to, like maybe that goes into in depth with something that we didn't understand. I mean, like, I don't really know what else we could watch for it that's not gonna spoil.
Nothing that has to do with lust anymore. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, like, maybe a video about owl, unless we're not supposed to know nothing about that nigga.
And we ain't gotta watch only ReZero videos. Like we can watch some YouTube videos, some haiku videos, like character analysis.
We can't watch it.
Want to do it? Like we can do an Oikawa character analysis.
Nah, I'm good because I know he's a GOAT. And you know he's a GOAT.
We know that now. I'm saying
No.
we didn't know that before. Like,
I did know that before.
No, you did, but I didn't. Cause you
No,
never said
you
it.
did. You did though.
Alright.
You just didn't want. You just didn't want to say it.
Kageyama.
All right, and you say we can't watch it. Yeah, we can't watch it, Juice, because they're gonna say, this next part of the manga.
Well, I was gonna say
I know some
he
videos.
hasn't read the manga.
No, I know some videos where it's not doing that. It's great character analysis.
Okay.
Who do I need? I know every character by heart. I don't need no analysis of them.
Who's Megan's dad?
I was gonna say.
Megumi's dad's name? Oh!
Wait, that's a spoiler.
That is,
How that?
That's a spoiler.
isn't he?
How is
Isn't
that
he
a
just one? Isn't he just
spoiler?
one
They
ahead?
haven't
Isn't he
said
just
it.
one ahead?
Yeah,
of the
I know
clans?
what I didn't say his name. I said what is his
No,
name?
I didn't say you spoiled. I said be.
Isn't he just one ahead of the clans?
I don't know. Maybe find
Yeah,
out.
he is, cause he
I don't know.
he's the son of a planet, and then Gojo
You
took
might
him
want
from
to
the.
figure out.
Hey,
the
bro.
next season. You might want to figure it out the next season.
That's disgusting. Hey, you know what to do if you like type of content? Make sure you like it. Make sure you like, subscribe.
Comment, share.
And turn notifications on.
MBK out.